Hey, welcome to Digging Into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Tiller Coaching. Okay, it's day 80, and we are so close to the end. In fact, we're starting the last chapter of the book of Acts. This is chapter 28. Things are cruising right along, or maybe not cruising, because Paul just endured a shipwreck, and things have gotten crazy for Paul. But actually, I think it's going to get crazier today. This is one of the more interesting stories in the Bible. With that as the backdrop, let's go ahead and dig in. This is Acts chapter 28, starting at verse 1. After we were brought safely through, we then learned that the island was called Malta. The native people showed us unusual kindness, for they kindled a fire and welcomed us all, because it had begun to rain and was cold. When Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and put them on the fire, a viper came out because of the heat and fastened on his hand. When the native people saw the creature hanging from his hand, they said to one another, "No doubt this man is a murderer. Though he has escaped from the sea, justice has not allowed him to live. However, he shook off the creature into the fire and suffered no harm." They were waiting for him to swell up or suddenly fall down dead. But when they had waited a long time and saw no misfortune come to him, they changed their minds and said that he was a god. Now in the neighborhood of that place were lands belonging to the chief man of the island, named Publius, who received us and entertained us hospitably for 3 days. It happened that the father of Publius lay sick with fever and dysentery. And Paul visited him and prayed, and putting his hands on him, healed him. And when this had taken place, the rest of the people on the island who had diseases also came and were cured. They also honored us greatly, and when we were about to sail, they put on board whatever we needed. Okay, so I think the immortal words of the sage Taylor Swift reign very appropriate here. We just got to shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. That's going to be the last song of the season. Maybe not. I don't know. We have 2 more days after this. Oh, my songs. Okay, so yeah, like Paul shook it off, man. Like this is such a crazy story. Like it's so crazy that it's almost like, is this like figurative? Like, does this like mean something that it's not like quite literal? And I mean, I guess there's the possibility, but I would say that Luke, the author of this book and the Gospel of Luke, was a physician, and he was, in my opinion, he wrote, and well, in many people's opinion, he wrote the most accurate and thorough account of the gospel, story. Now, it'd be really inconsistent for him to go all the way through his gospel and all the way through the book of Acts, and then right here at the end, just suddenly throw in alliteration. So I don't think so. I think this really happened, that this is a real account of something that happened here on the island of Malta. And when he's shaking this thing off, like, first of all, like the viper, the snake, in the Bible, when we see snakes, what do we think of? We think of Satan. Like in the first story in Genesis, where Adam and Eve are in the garden, and there is a snake who is very wise and like very not wise, but like shrewd. That's a better word. Like, he's not wise. I mean, he is smart, but he is cunning in his attempt to introduce doubt to Eve and subsequently Adam. And so this representation, I really believe, is a representation of evil, of Satan, of the enemy. Like there's no other like explanation of this, that every step of the way there have been roadblocks and suffering, persecution. It has been so hard for Paul, and he's gotten to a spot where he can just truly shake it off. Like, the attacks of the enemy are real, but he's not letting it stop him. And I love that. I feel like there's a real lesson in here for me, that there are some things I just really struggle to shake off, man. Like, honestly, sometimes the smaller stuff are things that like I struggle the most with to shake off. But man, every time I make some bold move, a statement of faith. Like this weekend, I got to share my story in a message with a church up in Montana, and it was awesome. And you know what happened that night? I had the worst. I get this physical attack. I don't know what it is. I think it's my gallbladder where it starts in my back and it's like my spine is getting squeezed and like ripped out of my back, it feels like. And then it radiates around to my front. It's not good. Like this is really unhealthy. I need to get it looked at. I just don't even know. Well, I should just get it looked at. There's no good excuse. But like that night, man, I had the worst, just like a gallbladder attack or whatever it is. And I had no Tylenol, no Advil, nothing with me. There was no painkillers. Sometimes this gets so intense that like I have to take something very strong, and I just didn't have access to any of it. I should have woken up my friend whose house I was staying at, but I was like, okay, I can see this through. Just shake it off. Just shake it off. And you know what? I didn't let it sink me. It was a really hard night. I barely slept. I was in a lot of pain, like 9 out of 10 at least. But sometimes we just got to shake this stuff off. The enemy can attack in a multitude of ways, and like I'm fine now, and I'm keeping moving forward the same way Paul's going to keep moving forward. So with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue on with Acts chapter 28. I'll see you then.